So I thought I'd do something different here, and there's some questions that I've been answering on the website and on my blog that I'm finding people write me and they leave comments on YouTube. This happens to be a YouTube comment that I thought was pretty interesting, and I wanted to answer it. So I'm just going to go ahead and state the question, and then I'll respond to it with the posting that I put out on the website and the blog. The question: at times I feel caught in a paradox. I've heard, keep raising your vibration. We will then match the frequency of 5D, and at that time it will become manifest. I've also heard that as long as we're stuck in the 3D matrix, we hit a glass ceiling that only allows our vibration to raise to a certain level. In order to create the event and usher in 5D, the 3D matrix must first be dismantled. So which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do we raise our vibration or do we dismantle 3D? And here's the response. This question contains several terms that are being confused and blended within the awakening communities. The first discussion should be related to the concept of what 3D versus 5D and moving from one to the other is attempting to convey. Consciousness beyond the body is a rotating array of energetic particulate. The stressors of experienced material embodiment causes this particulate to divide and grow, increasing the ability of your consciousness to acquire and store energy. As the particulate of your consciousness grows, you are increasing in density. Density is defined as the quantity of mass per unit volume in physics, and in computing it is the amount of information per sector of storage space. This is a direct correlation to your abilities as a self-aware consciousness. As you gain storage capacity and information, new levels of ability become available to you. These levels of ability have been assigned numerical values, and this is where the terms 3D, third density, and 5D, fifth density, have originated from. Dimension is defined in physics as a measurable extent such as length, width, or height that orients something within a spatial relationship. Based on this definition, the term has been co-opted and associated with the level of existence of consciousness. In order for this association to hold value, we must consider the concept of conscious density as providing the measurable extent we are using to gauge the relationship of one conscious dimension to the other. With the above foundation of consciousness established, we come to the concept that one realm of existence must be dissolved before we can enter the next. The universe we find ourselves individually aware within exists for a singular purpose: the cultivation of conscious density. The material and energetic realms that we have assigned the numerical values of 3D, 4D, 5D, etc., should be considered grades within an educational program. As you move from one grade to another in school, the previous year does not cease its existence. It is instead populated with new students who are ready for the lessons you have already mastered. You can look back and see the new students in your previous classroom because they exist within the same school as you do, but there is nothing left for you to learn there. This is where we are on Earth at this moment. Both classrooms exist and the doors between them are still open. With the classroom concept as a material interpretation, let's consider what's occurring in the collective consciousness. Imagine that you are creating a soap bubble on a wand with a hoop. As you blow into the hoop, the bubble expands until its circumference is so large that the edges meet and it departs as a sphere that charts its course based upon the currents that buoy it. You have created this bubble, but you are no longer in control of it. Whether it bursts upon a sharp object or floats into the heavens depends upon the bubble and the currents that drive it. Now consider that as the bubble floats upon the air, it creates an internal pressure that causes a secondary bubble to form upon the top of the first. There are now two bubbles in the shape of a figure 8 that share the same internal atmosphere. As the new bubble grows to match the circumference of the first bubble, you can travel between the bubbles because there is no separation between them. The second bubble is lighter than the first, and as it grows it begins to pull away and the connection between them narrows. At a point in this process, the second bubble will divorce itself from the first and float away upon its own trajectory. The first bubble still exists, but the two no longer share any commonality. I have used all of these analogies to convey to everyone that there is no ceiling preventing you from anything. We are all choosing which bubble we want to experience based upon the things we are focusing upon. The old will not be dismantled. It is separating from us as we move into the next classroom and close the door. When the door closes, you will quickly see the old ways of separation end as we step into the collectivity. The other classroom will then continue their lessons without us. Collectivity is defined as separate components that form an aggregate. The term aggregate is further defined as a structure formed from loosely compacted mass or fragments, and this is where we tie it all together. Consciousness is a rotating sphere of energetic particles. The membrane surrounding our rotating arrays is what allows us a perspective of individuality. As our consciousnesses rise in energy, we begin to see beyond this membrane because our energy signature now radiates beyond it. We then seek those whose energetics resonate with our own. This is sympathetic co-resonance, and is what drives us towards collectivity. We've been aggregating in the ascending bubble for some time now as the process continues to accelerate. The awakening community is full of messages of embracing love and unity for a reason. That reason is so that you align your energetic signature to the collectivity of the ascending bubble of consciousness. The pathway toward either bubble is well marked. Choose unity or choose separation. The last thing I would like to point out is that the separation of the bubbles is a function of ascension and something that regularly occurs throughout the universe. The event is an energetic pulse that will remove the creation of negative polarity from the particulate of consciousness within this galaxy. It is not related to the systematic ascension of consciousness that I have just discussed. Whether the pulse occurs simultaneously with the separation depends upon continuously changing variables of conscious energy within the galaxy. This is not easily predicted. If you've enjoyed this information and would like to go deeper, I recommend that you buy the book Expansion for Ascending Consciousness. And when you get the book, pay careful attention to the images that are presented with this video. They will expand upon the book, and the book will expand upon what has been discussed here. You can find it anywhere, Amazon, Google, just about anywhere. And I thank you. I'm in service to all. Good night.